What is going on, everybody? Welcome on into this special edition of Wake Up Warchant. We are live on Tuesday night. It's like Warchant after dark. Don't wake up, just chill out. Let us help you fall asleep.
Look at Aslan. He's even got one of the buttons unbuttoned.
Yeah, hey man, it's getting a little bit loose.
Yeah, nice.
It's 9 p.m. man. I had a couple White Claws. Dinner's on the stove top. Feeling pretty good, man. What do you?
Hey man, I'm doing a little ultra myself.
There we go. Right on. If only I had some delicious hand-breaded chicken from Zach's.
Amen, brother.
I can't. I don't deserve it right now. A lot of people are upset at me, Corey. I'm not bringing the funk. I'm not bringing the optimism. Let me see if I can pull up this tweet real quick. Nice gentleman, nice person. Oh, this guy said something really mean. Wait,
don't bring that up.
I'm gonna bring that guy up. Maybe bring this other guy up. I did this thing a few months ago, Corey, where I only get tweets from people. I only get notifications from people that follow me. So basically, all right, man, if you're gonna verbally assault me, then at least I need you to follow me so I can at least pad my stats or whatever.
Right.
But somebody named Fear the Spear on Twitter says, rarely do I comment, but I do enjoy Wake Up Warchant. The Miami game is a war. You either show up motivated or you don't. Hashtag Norvell can do everything he needs to do through hashtag Zoom. You're killing my hate Miami vibe.
There's a lot of hashtags in there.
Yeah.
I like the Wake Up Warchant hashtag. Nice. So do we have? I mean, I wonder if that was trending. We need to get that trending one of these days. The only way, by the way, that Wake Up Warchant ever trends nationally is something goes horribly wrong. Probably in one of these shows where it's live and we can't edit it.
Or like I curse and I forget to edit it out of our show and everyone's like, hey,
yeah,
you left an F-bomb in there. Yeah, so I'm not going to kill the vibe. You folks can set the vibe today. I'll let Corey give you his optimistic outlook on things. So we'll do that. We spoke to offensive coordinator Kenny Dillingham on Tuesday morning, as well as Jay Sean Corbin and Cameron McDonald.
Yeah.
Kenny, pretty much same thing as Chris Thompson. Hey, status quo. I think that was his quote, in terms of what they're running, how they're performing practice. It's still status quo, even without Mike Norvell there in person. But he did say, I think there's going to be a little bit of effect that you don't have him around because, as Kenny said, he's one of the best offensive minds in college football.
Yeah, and I thought, but yeah, it sounds like, it was much of what Thompson said about the impact that he has in practice. And again, I'm not trying to minimize what the role that a head coach has in a day-to-day practice, just for the vibe and the energy that he brings, and he does bring it. But everything that you're trying to accomplish schematically, game plan wise, can still be accomplished when as long as he's watching it and as long as he's able to, can still be accomplished with him not being there. So I don't think they're going to be crushed in the game preparation. It's just what's the mood going to be like in the locker room on game day. That's where you maybe wonder a little bit. By the way, folks, number one, thanks for sticking with us at this late hour. My son had I should burn this shirt. I am not a Phillies fan. I would never be a Phillies fan. I hate most all Phillies fans. The only thing cool about the Phillies is the fanatic. But my son is on a rec ball team, and they're the Phillies, and I'm the coach. So I just got back from his game, and that's why it was so late, number one. So I appreciate you hanging with us, and that's also why I'm in this awful get-up.
There we go. All right, I got to do this, man. The only way I can get hate Miami into my blood is if I hate the Florida Gators first off. So this was the tweet. I read it. It's not bad or anything for the children. This guy, Craig Morrison, tweets at me, Aslan Hodges, you represent a joke college athletics program. You football team can't even put a head coach on the field for an ACC and in-state rivalry game. Lame.
I mean, well, look, solid points.
That's who they are. That's who they are. Imagine running a marathon, Corey Clark. Imagine you and I run a marathon, and I get a 25-mile head start on you. 25 miles. You've got to run 26.2. I just got to run like 1.2. All right? And you know what? You still beat me. And then afterwards, you're at a bar, and I'm bragging about how I'm as good of a runner as you are. I'm like, I'm just as good as he is. I'm just as good as that. I'm better than he is.
So you're assuming this is a Gator fan?
It is a Gator fan. I already checked on him. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Money Navigator. He's trying to be all clever.
Oh, I got it. Well, hey, Craig, you know what? You bring up a lot of really good points, salient points, I would say, and are well articulated. So good job. You put Aslan in his place.
What do you – he's a –
It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke. Why even entertain that guy? That's what he wants. That's what he wants is to get your blood boiling. Just take a sip of that White Claw, lean back.
I hate.
Let's talk to Gator Kirk and let's see what's going on.
I can only have enough. I only have space in my heart to do this to one fan base, and it's going to be the Gators. I don't like Miami either.
It's understandable.
Miami is comfortable in their own dirty, just crazy lawlessness, and I can kind of admire that. Like they know who they are and they embrace it. I don't like it, but I can admire it somewhat, just a little bit. But Florida fans just live in this fantasy world where they're perfect and they're better than everybody, and they're not. And it's like everybody knows they're not. Everybody tells them constantly, but they have this weird cocoon around their brain that's like, it won't permeate me. No one in the SEC likes them. No one in the state likes them. No one in the country likes them. They're the most smarmy coach in the entire country. I hope you lose, and I hope you lose in spectacular fashion. Every single
Jan Mullen's the smarmiest coach in the country?
He's Jan Mullen's.
All right, okay. You have more history with him than I don't have any history with him at all. So. All right.
Let's go to a nice human being, though. Gator Kirk, speaking of Gators. But he's not a Gator fan, I assure you, everybody. He's just named after – he's nicknamed Gator because he hung out in the creek with the Gators when everybody else was scared, because G. Kirk ain't scared of nothing. Is this you, Gator Kirk?
Hey, Aslan. Hey, Corey. What's going on? It's G from Virginia Beach. What y'all doing?
I hope we didn't keep you up too late, man.
It's pretty late for me. I get up mighty damn early, While you guys are sleeping, I'm training. So
there we go.
This is getting close to nap time for me, but that's all right. I don't know why Aslan's going on a rant about that school in Gainesville, because I can't stand that school in Coral Gables. I can't think of anything I despise more in my life than the U.
It's such an interesting. I don't know that is there another school that has two rivals quite like this? Like you hate them both with a ferocity that's the white hot intensity of 1,000 suns with both of them. Florida because just they've always thought they were better than you for the last 60 years, and then Miami because the way they just act, and then also the fact that they cost you multiple national titles when the games could have gone either way, and they literally would just luck out at the end of every game and then celebrate about it, beat their chest, and dance around like jesters on the field. It's really – I don't know that there's another program that – because Miami and Florida don't play each other enough to really hate each other. But Florida State plays both these schools, and they have been intense, furious, fever-pitched rivals for 3 decades now, 4 decades.
Florida, man, or Georgia, rather. Georgia's got to play Florida and Auburn.
It's not the same, man.
It's the oldest rivalry in the South, Corey.
No, it's not the same. Not the same. Florida State means more. It's mattered more nationally, and so is Florida State and Miami for the last 40 years. Florida, Georgia, all right, man, sure. But Georgia hasn't been relevant nationally, winning championships since Jimmy Carter was president.
Jimmy Carter.
Well, he was only president. After they won the national championship, I think he was only president for another 15 days before Reagan got inaugurated. But nobody wanted to hear about this history lesson, did they? Gator Kirk, what's on your mind, buddy?
I just want to know, how much do you think it is tearing Norvell up inside that he can't be at practice, knowing his personality and being there? I know he can watch it on Zoom and stuff, but just the angst he must be feeling with, control what you can control, and he can't control this, but I'm sure he's just all fever a pitch there.
Yeah, I mean, look, he's wired in a way. We all know people like this where they have to be involved in everything. I think he's definitely a type A. He's like a type AAA. So yeah, I don't think you could tell when he wouldn't really go into it, his emotions when he found out, but you could tell it was devastating. I'm sure it was a gut punch when he found out he couldn't be there. And yeah, I'm sure. I don't think he's a guy like me, which is like, oh, you don't need me today? All right, well, I'm just going to go back to sleep, or I'm going to watch Netflix. Like, that's not how he's wired. That's not why he is where he is. So it's really painful. I'm sure it's tearing him up inside, which probably isn't the best thing when you're dealing with that, when you're dealing with COVID anyway, to also be anxious and coming out of your skin because you can't be doing what you love to do. But, yeah, I do think, Gator Kirk, I do think that he does get involved enough. Like, he does get to lead the team meetings apparently. I think it was Cam McDonald that said that. Like, he brought the energy Tuesday morning in their team meeting before they went to practice. Norvell brought the energy from the jump, even on Zoom. And so just he wasn't in the room. And then he is getting to watch practice. So that does help, but only to a point. I mean, it's just not the same. I'm sure it's tearing him up, but I can't even imagine what it's going to be like for him on Saturday night. Watching the team he coaches, his players, play on TV with him not being there. That's going to be it's just it's going to be a surreal moment for him to have to deal with that.
All right, G, you got a score prediction for us on your way out?
Score prediction.
Ooh.
Oh, me. 24-21 Noles.
Okay. All right. Okay. I like it. We appreciate the calls always, G. Keep the faith.
I appreciate it. You guys have a great evening. Make sure everyone hits that thumbs up. Eat at Zaxby's. Join Warchant if you're not already a member, and always go Noles. Let's beat
this. Thanks, man.
That's right. That's right.
Have a great night.
That's right. Gator
sounded like my man was on his last legs. It was his bedtime for my man. We appreciate you hanging on, Gator Kirk. I apologize. I'm just glad my son didn't have the late game, so it was actually the 6 o'clock game. So we got it back here in a little bit of time to actually pull this off.
Try and pull up the comment. Yeah, somebody was asking, "What's up? Did you lose a bet or something with the shirt?" Again, no. Corey's coaching his son's team.
My son plays. I'm a coach for my son's rec ball team, and they're the Phillies. These aren't bad shirts for a rec ball team. They kind of look like legit.
Step up your game. Step up your game with William Hall helping us out, throwing some money around, trying to get me motivated. I think William gave that to me when I was in the midst of my rant. I appreciate it, William.
William Hall's a man. Blow, blow, Seminole wind. Blow like you're never gonna blow again. So I feel like if I do that every time somebody donates money, the donations are going to dry up pretty quick. So that was just for you, William Hall. I'm never going to sing Seminole Wind for anyone else unless they request it, and even then I probably won't. But we really do appreciate it, man. That's very nice.
I'll play the horn.
He's on the clay. That was quick. That was a quick no horn reaction.
I'll pull the horn out, man. You better chill out, man. Mr. G14 classified 27-24 Knowles. I like it, man.
Hey, you gonna get the phone number there at the bottom?
Trying to get there. Am I gonna get what at the bottom?
The phone number.
What about it?
Is it at the bottom of this? Oh, there it is, right there. Hey, Aslan, I apologize. I didn't see it. That's big time. Fly flying around here.
Shout out to Daniel also Brooks. Just killed the Zaxby's wings and things. Tongue torch, like the Knowles going to kill the U. I like the
optimism. I definitely agree with the first part. Well, I can understand how you would kill those. The Knowles are not going to kill this game, kill that team. Maybe there's a chance they can. It's not, again, though, I keep having to slap myself in the face. Like, man, it's not 2001. This isn't an incredible Miami team. There are holes there in their defense. Their offensive line might not be good at all. Their offense is pretty good. It's certainly more dynamic than it's been in a long time, but that doesn't mean it's indefensible. So I hope they can't play with this team, quite obviously.
Just worried about our defense. I'm worried about our offense.
The offense is a real. I don't disagree with Dillingham. So just for the people that are worried, and I get it, the AAC is not the ACC, and this was a team that he had crafted. This is his fourth year with Memphis, but they started last year scoring 15 points against Ole Miss. Now they won the game. Adam Fuller was the DC, by the way. They won that game 15-10, and then they led the nation in scoring. Even after scoring 15, they put up 50 on everyone just about. And you can say, well, they were playing AAC's teams. They didn't have to play. When they played the big bad SEC, they only put up 15. Well, then they played Penn State in the Cotton Bowl, and I know they lost that game, but they put up 40-something points against the Big Ten school. Once he got that thing rolling last year, it got rolling. And I don't foresee that happening this year, obviously, but I do think that they're going to get rolling where they lead the nation in scoring. But there will be steps. There will be progress made. It's just who's going to be the quarterback taking the steps and leading the progress.
Look who left a comment, Corey.
Is that the real Daniel Glouser from way back in the day?
It looked just like him, and looks like a daughter and a lovely wife, man.
By the way, that's awesome, Daniel, that you're watching. He really did get screwed out of an extra year of eligibility. I still can't fathom what the NCAA was thinking there, not allowing him an extra year. He played, I think the story was he played like half a season of semi-pro football or something back years ago, and they counted it against him as a year. Something goofy, man, where it's just like, let the kid play. It doesn't bother you. It was a really odd decision by the NCAA. But yeah, man, I certainly agree with that sentiment. They're going to have to play really well to get that win, but that's allowed. And if you have a good coaching staff, that can happen a lot more than it doesn't. So hopefully they do play well.
Former Florida State offensive lineman Daniel Glauser posts, in case you were listening to us on the podcast, let's face it, going to be a tough game for us. We need to be on our A game to get a W, which, yeah, man. But they got 2 weeks to try to get that A game, get that D+, with the curve, a little extra credit, donate some canned food to a good organization, have your teacher add 10 points onto the grade, slide it down. We can get close to an A, hopefully. Shout out to the big dog, though. Now we're cooking. Ray Pereira in the house.
Nice. Team horn for Ray Pereira. It's never not appreciated, my man. Thank you so much, man.
Ray Pereira, 25, nearly 25 American dollars, 24.99. Never.
We're gonna round up 25.
Yeah, over under. Miami scores 30. FSU scores 17. Go Noles.
Man, that's crazy. I think I picked on headlines today. I think my final was 30-20, and not for the good guys. So I guess, well, that's right on the number there with 30 for Miami. And the guy, it really is a bummer if you're a Florida State fan that Miami has a kicker now, because those are automatic points once they get inside the 35-yard line. Not like Georgia Tech's dude that just kicks line drives straight at people's faces. Yeah, this guy actually gets it airborne.
He did the same thing against UCF and got the hook. So even the special teams that we felt really great about, it's like,
well, yeah. Well, Florida State rattled him. After that, he was done.
We broke him. We broke his spirit.
Man, those are both good numbers, right? Don't you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I
was going to lean either way. I think I would lean to the over on both.
Okay.
I was going to lean either way.
I would think that I'd go over 30 more easily than I would say over 17 for Florida State, man. I don't think Miami's defense is all that great. I just don't know what we saw against Georgia Tech that I think is going to get corrected in 2 weeks.
Obviously, we saw nothing from the Georgia Tech game that gives you any hope really at all that you're going to – but that's the beauty of a coaching staff that's good, is that there can be really wildly drastic improvements made within 2 weeks, especially from game 1 to game 2 if there's a bye in the middle. You hope that they just look a lot better. Again, you feel like you're maybe a little hamstrung with who you have to put out at quarterback, but we have no idea what their quarterback plan is and what their packages are. We should tell the folks, if you don't know, and if you're a member of Warchant, you do, that Aslan asked Dillingham today if all 4 quarterbacks were practicing now, and he responded in the affirmative that yes, all 4 quarterbacks took part in practice today. So that would lead you to believe that Chubba Purdy, I don't know if he's necessarily available for this game, but he's certainly working himself back into health.
Just because this is who I am, he could have been telling us the truth, and it could not have included Chubba as well. They do have a couple backup walk-on quarterbacks that he could have included as 4. I mean, they got Geno English is one of the guys they have. So Geno English practice and Jordan Travis practice and James Blackman and Tate Robinson.
Then I'm going to blame you. Why didn't you just say, hey, man, is Chubba practicing yet?
Well, I didn't want to put him on the spot, man. I had to massage it a little bit, man.
Right.
Hey, how about I do the play-by-play and you ask a couple questions? You're the senior writer. Let's take a phone call. These people have been hanging around for a long time. We appreciate it. Hopefully not a Miami troll. Who's this and where are you calling us from? Welcome on into the show. It's Wake Up Warchant presented by Zaxby's.
Hey, guys, this is Will from Dayton, Ohio, a.k.a. Drill Sergeant Porter.
Hey,
Drill Sergeant
Porter. What's up, man?
Yeah, I made it through. I'm excited.
Yeah, man, thanks for hanging tight, man. We really appreciate it.
I know that we're big and reacting in the moment, but I remember last year that same Miami offense scored more points than this one did against Louisville and gave up less points. So, I mean, we shouldn't overreact too much. And at the same time, who knows, maybe the troops will rally with Norvell not being there. And we can, I imagine Norvell jump around the living room like Lou Brown and the movie Major League in a hospital bed. Corey probably knows what I'm talking about with that being a baseball reference.
Or I was thinking like Dennis Hopper and Hoosiers, like when he's in the hospital because he's getting dried out for being an alcoholic, and they hit the game winner. But yeah, that you could see that.
What about Luther Van Dam and Coach when the Minnesota State Screaming Eagles are in the national championship game and he's coaching from his hospital bed?
Even better. Yes, sir.
That's right. Thank you.
But no, I just wanted to call and say hey to you guys and appreciate everything you do. Go Noles. And my prediction is 30-27 Noles, and Big Marv blocks the field goal to win it.
Nice!
Oh, nice.
Let's go!
Wouldn't that be something?
That's our ace in the hole. Because that seems to be what we're good at this year, just blocking field goals. So
that's right, man. That's their bread and butter.
There we go, man. Hey, man, thanks so much for the call. Thanks for being a subscriber as well, man. We really do appreciate it.
All right, appreciate it. Have a good night, guys. Thank you.
You too.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Hey, let's take this other call. We got a couple people waiting in line, but this one's been on the line for 21 minutes waiting. So clearly they're a Florida State fan because Miami fans have quit because they don't even attend their university. So welcome on into the show. Who's this and where are you calling us from?
This is Jay from Daytona Beach.
There he is. There he is.
There he is.
He's back.
It took you guys long enough.
You're right. You're right.
Jay's the best.
Hey, listen, I really don't have anything to say because we can just kind of like replay my calls from the summer because, you know, everything is unfolding now, guys, unfortunately. Whether we talk about all those transfers that I told you Miami got at key positions, or I told you about underestimating those UCF teams and, you know, teams like I remember we were going to play Wake Forest first, and you guys were penciling in as a W, but like Wake Forest has like the #1 receiver in the nation. Like Surratt is good, and I know we talk about Terry, man, but you got to show improve, man.
Yeah.
Like the best indicator of future behavior is previous behavior from a fan's perspective, and I mean, all fundamentals are key performance indicators. So it's like, after a game, that's why Willie Taggart said it, Norvell said it, we got to get back to fundamentals because it indicates how the guys are going to perform during the game. But anyways, I'm not going to rag on the team too hard because, you know, I'm a Florida State fan. But this is my question for you guys. Are you there with me?
I'm here, man. We're here. The whole world's listening to you right now, Jay.
Now, this is what always puzzled me about us. Okay, so the offensive tackle goes out. The very next play, we call a play that puts what is his name? Neal?
Chaz Neal.
Yeah, Chaz Neal.
Chaz Neal. Which, I mean, and, you know, credit to you, Corey. I mean, last year when he gained 50 pounds, I'm like, why don't they play him? Why don't they play him? And Corey was like, But now we all know the mystery's over. We know why Chaz Neal's not playing. No disrespect to the kid. But so they call a play that puts this kid in a compromising situation. He can't handle. JB1 sack, get sacked, of course. I know all you guys saying, oh, the Arizona State game, it's a new year. No, the Arizona State game was who James Blackman was. But anyways, my question is, how come other teams know? It's almost like I was watching the game and the cornerback went out. And the very next play, the quarterback throws a touchdown pass because he knows that the backup freshman corner is in. Our offensive tackle goes out. We go after the quarterback. How come we never try to exploit a team? Like, even when a team jumps outside, we'll call a timeout and let that team get back onside rather than, you know, hiking the ball and, like, just throwing it in the end zone. Is it just me, or do you guys notice that? And, like,
well, yeah, no, it's not just you. I would say, number one, I don't think the Arizona. I want to get back to something real quick. I don't think the Arizona State game is who James Blackman is. I think the Georgia Tech game is who James Blackman is, in the sense that he doesn't usually turn it over 4 times in a game or 5 times in a game. What he normally does is have one horrible turnover and then a bunch of punts, which is essentially what he did against Georgia Tech. He started out pretty well and then devolved. That, to me, was a more typical James Blackman game than the Arizona State debacle. So pick a game: the Florida game, the Wake Forest game, the Georgia Tech game. We know who James Blackman is. You always got to hold out hope, though, with a new coaching staff that maybe they can get through to the kid. And maybe, hey, you know what, buddy, Jay, Maybe James Blackman goes out there on Saturday night and lights him up like he's Jameis Winston. Maybe he's just nickel and diming him all the way down the field, throwing pistols at him. We know it's probably not going to happen, but he's due. Even awful baseball players have games where they hit multiple home runs in a game. It happens all the time. Maybe that's his shining moment. But as far as you saying that always happens to Florida State, I get it. And number one, we don't know what the play call was. Maybe he was supposed to get the ball out of his hands quickly. And because he is who he is and holds on to the ball too long sometimes and doesn't pull the trigger when he needs to, even when Chaz Neal completely whiffs, like he just literally almost didn't even have to be there. He got in the way at all. He would have been better off almost picking him up and throwing him towards Blackman. It was ridiculous what Chaz Neal did on his one play in that game. But we don't know, number one, that they're like, all right, James, you got a right tackle that's new. Take your time. Scan the field. 5 seconds. We want the 25-yard in route. James might have just not thrown it when he was supposed to throw it. So you never know with that. But also, it is a new day. And I get what you're saying. It's been really disappointing the last 3 or 4 years. But we can't say that Norvell always does stuff like that. Like Norvell always, as soon as they put in a right tackle, the guy sprints past them for a game-changing sack. Because we've only seen it one game. It does feel like Florida State itself gets exploited more than other teams. But maybe that's just because we pay attention more to Florida State. And frankly, when you're not a good team, that stuff happens to you a lot. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure Mike Norvell doesn't have a history of just getting obliterated as soon as a guy comes off the field for an injury. He usually figures out a way to, make up for it because he's won a lot of football games. So I get it. It's on the heels of the disaster of the last 3 seasons. But let's give him a little more time and a little more leeway because that was just a one. I mean, you really don't expect, do you, to have the kid just completely whiff? You would think he'd be so nervous he would hold, not just let the guy go by him like he's an invisible, like he's like a blocking sled. It was crazy. I get the frustration. I really do. But let's just hope that was just bad luck and not a sign of things continuing in that direction.
Jay, we got to keep this thing moving, man. Appreciate the call.
Aslan, one question for you, man.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to know, man, because, the JB thing is a moot point. We watch other teams, and every other team has a solid option at quarterback. But when Jordan Travis is in the game and he's moving that ball, does that not send like chills through your body? Are you not having fun when you see that, no matter what you do? Wouldn't that be a better option from a fan perspective?
Hey, Jay, I am with you, my man. I'm with you.
Yeah, I don't feel it, man. That it works in spurts. It's not sustainable, I don't think. But
I'd like somebody. Hey, I'm with Jay in the sense that I want a defense to prove it's not. Sorry, but I want a defense to prove that it's not sustainable first. Let's just not assume he can't do it for 4 quarters. Every time he gets into the game, he runs well. Against Arizona State, he ran for like 80 yards. They didn't stop it. He ran for 39 yards in 6 plays in that game. Like, let's make them stop it before you stop doing it. That's my thought.
He got a hook on 3rd and 5, man. It was 3rd and 5, and it was an obvious passing situation.
Yeah, well, look.
I don't know what else we can really say. Jay, appreciate the call, man.
Jay, you're the best.
We got other callers. Let me get my score prediction, though.
All right, go for it. Quickly, 10 seconds.
Okay. 35-34, Florida State. We blocked the superstar transfer kicker to win the game. 35-34, no.
You don't believe that, Jay.
Amazing. All right, Jay. We appreciate it, man. Enjoy the game Saturday.
All right.
That's funny.
That's right.
No way Jay believes that's happening. He is right with that was a bad luck with the transfers, man. Miami got four doozies. They got the 2 defensive end transfers, the kicker, and then Mr. Superstar quarterback.
12 minutes of how come we never do this? We never take advantage of that. And then, hey, we're going to win 35-34.
No, that came out of nowhere. You got to stay for the ending.
Love it, man. Love it almost as much as I do Redbeard, although I think he loves you more, Corey. Things are going to get better, Corey, he says. Don't get caught up in the instant gratification culture of the basic fan. It will get better, starting with a big win over Miami Saturday night. Prime time for a prime time win. Go Noles. $24.99, the tip jar from Redbeard. That gets you some love. Gets you the horn. Gets you the horn twice.
Redbeard is the truth.
Redbeard, man. Good guy. Good dude.
I would say I'm not. Look, I don't expect. I can feel good about the team on Saturday night if they lose that game. Genuinely, I can.
We felt good about them in 18. That was the best I ever felt about a Willie Taggart team.
Man, but that was a one where it felt like, golly, you had a chance there for a signature win, and you blew it. You melted down. And I do think there's a chance. I do think there's a chance that you're going to be happy with where this program is at the end of the year, and you're going to be hopeful. Even if the month of September and early October is woeful, I think there's a good chance by the end of the year you could be hopeful about the direction of this program, because it isn't going to be instant gratification. It can't be. You can't rebuild something like this that quickly. But, hey, you know what? They can win that game. That's not out of the realm of possibility that they can go down there and win that game in front of 9,000 fans.
Redbeard, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
You are the best, Redbeard. Thank you, buddy.
How about this guy, Laryl Floyd? Kenny Dillingham said all 4 scholarship quarterbacks, Aslan.
Did he?
I was there, Laryl. I was there. He didn't. He didn't say 4 scholarships. He didn't. But I like when people aren't there.
He did say all 4 quarterbacks, though, which leads you to believe that he's not talking about the walk-ons.
Yeah, man. I mean, if Chuba's not out there and Geno English has been out there all the time, then Geno English is a quarterback, man.
All right.
Whoa. Jack, what's going on? Matt AMCZ from Warchant in the house. $34 in the tip jar because that's how many points you're going to score. Play the man his music, they say. Play the man his music. Oh, there it is.
What was that other thing you were about to play?
It was the end of the horn, like it was the tail end of it. I have to replay the horn. I don't have like a soundboard, and this computer, whatever. You get
Man, Mark, that's awesome, buddy. Thank you so much, buddy. You guys are really nice. We should do 9 o'clock shows more often. They're feeling a little friskier at 9 p.m.
William McMillan's dropping 500, he says, on FSU. I'm so confident we're going to win. Screenshot, William. I want to see a screenshot of your bet. 34-33 or so, Mark thinks. 34-31, Knowles. Man, if Florida State scores – I'm trying to think. Like you talked about – you just mentioned, Corey, that this team – Florida State could lose Saturday, but you could still feel good about them afterwards. And then at the end of the season, you think you will feel better about them because you do think they'll grow week over week. I mean, look, I think if Florida State scores over 24 points, I won't be angry. I don't know if I'll be happy.
Well, if Miami put up 52, you will be. You'll be angry.
I don't know. That's 3 touchdowns, man. I don't know if they get in the end zone 3 times against Miami. I mean, as long as it's not, 14 points when it's 45-3 or something,
Yeah, I don't expect them to score 34. That would be great. That's probably a number that would win the game. But yeah, I don't know that I'd be really excited about what was happening if they scored 34 points and didn't win the game. If that means their defense got wrecked, and you just hope that this defense will take a step to respectability. I know they only gave up 16 points, but none of us were really pleased with that performance against that quarterback and against that offensive line. And this guy's better. And if you play the way you played against Georgia Tech, against Miami, they will score 50 against you. You have to figure out a way to get that guy to get rid of the ball quickly, pressure him, and get off the field. They didn't have a 3-and-out all game. Come on. So I guess I'm more confident in Mike Norvell and Kenny Dillingham than I am Adam Fuller. Like, I just think there's a better track record for those 2 guys. Eventually this offense will be good. I just think you do. This, and I'm not talking about necessarily this year. I'm talking about while they're here, the Florida State offense will be one of the best in the conference. Maybe, one of the best in the country. That's what these guys do. Adam Fuller, that's not what he's got a different kind of challenge here. And I'm not convinced as much that he's going to turn the defense around like these guys will turn the offense around. So if he goes out and gives up 480 to Georgia Tech in the first game and then gives up 40 or 50 to Miami in the second game, that's not great. Not great.
You all get on my case. I just try to be optimistic, and then he torpedoed it. So
I don't know why I'm like this. I don't know why I'm like this.
Lee Wills, appreciate it, Lee. Florida State 28, that team in South Florida 21. Our special teams will win the game for us. Go Noles. Chop them up.
Damn right. I think Yeah, it's going to be – they're going to need a kick return. Maybe Travis Jay makes a big play in special teams. That always helps. That's why they had that 20-point lead down there last time was DJ Matthews. That was really, I believe, the only good special teams play of the Willie Taggart era was that punt return. But that's going to play a huge role, man. When you pull off an upset, you got to win the special teams battle. You just have to. You probably need to win the turnover battle, and you need to win, and you have to win the special teams battle, in my opinion, to win this game because they got an advantage against your offensive line. I feel like it's going to be hard to. It's going to be. You can't expect to move up and down the field against these guys the whole night. And also, Jay. Well, number one, Jay was wrong because the kid for Wake Forest is opting out. Their big time wide receiver opted out of the season.
They had 3 receivers. I thought that were like over 6'3".
Yeah, but he was the guy. The Surratt guy was incredible, but I'm almost positive he opted out.
Yeah.
But on that note, yeah, man, Tamarian Terry's got to go make plays, like big boy plays against a good team. And he did not play well against Georgia Tech. He was not alone, but he did not play. He certainly didn't play like the first round superstar talent that we think he can be. So that's got to take a big step up too. He's got to go actually make plays and torch these guys a few times and hope his quarterback gets him the ball.
Shout out to D Chai, maybe coming from Chicago, $20 in the tip jar, man. Appreciate you. It tells us to keep up the great work, man. We're just 2 dudes talking about the Knowles.
Does that look orange? I guess it kind of does, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
It's bright red. It's a Philly. Yeah, it's a Philly shirt. It's bright red. I don't know why. I guess the way the spotlight on my computer is hitting it makes it look orange, but I promise you, it's Philly red.
All right, there we go.
My head is orange.
Michael Jennings in the house. Michael, you get a little bit too, man. You get some.
Michael Jennings, way to go, buddy. We appreciate it, man.
Now that the coaching staff knows who James Blackman is, I think they will put him in a better position to succeed. Defense should play inspired. FSU 29, Miami 27.
How do you think they get to 29? What are you thinking there?
I don't even know how that would work, man. Like 24.
Maybe 5 field goals, 2 touchdowns? That would be a Florida State thing to do, to kick 5 field goals in the Miami game.
3 touchdowns, 2 field goals, and a safety?
Maybe 4 touchdowns, and the last one they go for 2.
All right.
To put themselves up.
Just to hit Michael's number.
Yeah. No real reason strategically to do it. And Norvell's asleep on the couch, so they can't ask him. But Thompson's like, you know what? I know it's 27-27. We just need the extra point to win the game. We're going to go for 2 and rub it in their faces. And they get it. Or they fake the PAT and go for 2. I do think that's a good point by Michael. They do know who he is now. I think you give yourself false hope in a practice and in scrimmages. When you haven't coached a kid, it really isn't fair to hold what he did before you got there against him. It's not like Norvell and Dillingham didn't watch all the film they needed to watch of James Blackman. But they also tell themselves, well, we haven't gotten to coach him yet. Wait till he gets our coaching, and we can turn him into the best player he's been, the best he can be. And then now they know, oh, yeah, okay, yeah, that is who he is. We tried. So yes, you can cater a game plan around him where maybe it's a little bit easier for him to move the ball. But at the same time, if he starts devolving again, I don't know that you just have him wear it like you did against Georgia Tech. I think you got to figure out somebody else back there taking snaps.
I mean, do you really think that last Saturday was a revelation? I mean, you really think that they did not know what they had with him?
I think it's one thing to see it on film. I don't think they saw it in practice. I don't think he does that crazy rollout to the right when he's got time in practice. But now that they've seen it, now that they've seen the plays that he missed, that he did not see, yes, I think they understand, okay, well, we thought he could handle this. We thought he could handle that. Or not even that. It's not like he's a dumb kid. He's a bright kid. He just doesn't see it. Or he doesn't trust himself to pull the trigger quick enough. And now that they know it, maybe they don't call those same plays where he's having to, I don't know. The play is to get it out of your hands quicker because he doesn't do that. Unless it's a called screen pass. My man does not take a snap and throw it, does he? Like, think about what what I envision James Blackman when I think back to all the times I've watched him play quarterback. He takes the snap, he drops back that extra yard or two because he's in the shotgun. Do you ever remember him taking the snap, dropping back one step, and then firing it downfield. It almost never happens. Yeah. It's a lot of the feet moving, looking, and it's a lot of like hesitancy. It's never conviction. He doesn't. In fact, that's one of the things I was telling one of the Phillies today. I had to say, do you know what conviction means? And they like a criminal case. And I go, no. The other word, like conviction, like when you play with conviction. He goes, no. And I go, it's like belief. Believe you're going to hit the ball. Don't just swing to make contact. Swing with conviction. Swing that you're going to drive the ball. And he's like, yeah, coach, whatever. And he went and struck out. But either way, it was the talk of a lifetime for him. And it's probably going to change his life now that he knows the definition of conviction.
All right. Fantastic.
Thanks, guys.
Let's take this phone call here, Corey, and then I got to step away and get my food off the stovetop so my house doesn't burn down. So I trust you. I'm sure whoever's calling wants to speak to you anyways. Welcome on into Wake Up Warchant presented by Zaxby's. Who's this and where are you calling us from?
Oh, it's Matt AMCZ from Naples. How you boys doing?
There he is, live in the flesh.
What's up, buddy? Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, man. That was awesome, Adam. Appreciate it, man.
You guys are working overtime. I mean, it's the least we can all do,
That's right. Preach.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. I'm just calling. It's more of a comment than a question. I mean, it's more of a perspective thing. I mean, the quarterback play is kind of the elephant in the room, but there was a lot of comments on the tribal council this week kind of laying the blame at Norvell's feet already for not getting a QB transfer in the portal or not signing Sims. I mean, how did the Hornibrook and Everett Golson experiments work out? I mean, I'm sure he was looking, but really, I think everyone needs to realize that this has been 5 years in the making. I think Corey, either you or Ira wrote a pretty good article on that this week. You go back to Malik Henry, and then I think the next two signees were Blackman and Hockman, and then Willie not signing a quarterback for 2 years. I mean, I think we can all agree that if Mike put his 2019 Memphis field on the team against Georgia Tech with his quarterback, we'd blow him out like UCF did. So, I mean, I'm just looking at it like, let's see what Chuba, Tate, and or Altmaier can really do. It may be this season, it may not, but I think we're looking at 2021 before we can really reserve judgment on that. So I just didn't know if you agree with that perspective. I think it's just going to take patience.
Oh, well, I 100% agree with that perspective. I think Aslan, I'm going to answer for Aslan because I think he had to go get his food. But yeah, I think that's a good point because number one, it's awesome for Miami that they got De'Aaron King. That's going to be good for the 2020 Miami team. It's probably going to help them win on Saturday night. But is it good for the 2022 Miami team? And I'm sure Norvell would have loved to have De'Aaron King. But there's only one or two of those guys out there every year. And you're not Oklahoma. Like Oklahoma, everybody wants to transfer to Oklahoma, man. And so you can't get a Jalen Hurts. You can't get like a Justin Fields or a Baker Mayfield. I think he was a transfer. You're not appealing to those type of players right now. So I think the best way to build your program, the way Norvell wants to build it, is to do what he's doing, to flood the market with incoming freshman quarterbacks that you can build around. Because what if Tate Rodemaker, plays, for whatever reason, plays against Jacksonville State and lights it up, and then plays against Notre Dame and has a good game? And then I'm just using him because Chuba seemed like the easier example to use. But what if Tate Rodemaker is the real deal, like really good? Well, you got him for 2 or 3 more years. And that's how, and you're right, if you put Memphis with that kid at quarterback on the field with Georgia Tech on Saturday, they beat that Georgia Tech team by 35 points, I bet. They at least score 45. We know Norvell can get this thing rolling, and we know he can teach quarterbacks how to play and run an offense. So I agree with you. I don't give him much. I mean, what do you got to do? Like, what do you got to do for – I don't know how you can blame Norvell for not bringing in a grad transfer quarterback to the sense that, like, what did he tell people no? Did De'Aaron King want to come here? And he's like, no. I got this Blackman kid. I'm going to ride or die with him. He bleeds garnet and gold. You don't. Of course he would have taken De'Aaron King, but that wasn't on the table. So you got to make do with what you have. And he did bring in 2 quarterbacks. One that was one of the better quarterbacks in the western part of the United States. It was committed to a division rival. He took Chuba away from Louisville and he got him. So let's see how Chuba turns out. and how Rodemaker turns out before we blame him for not bringing in a grad transfer. Obviously, James Blackman doesn't seem like a guy that you can build the 2020 season around and win a bunch of games. But I think the guys behind him are guys that can really help the program. And it's almost like you just kind of have to hope that either they expedite their learning process really quickly and become good players this year, or you're playing for 2021. But I do think that Norvell will have a quarterback in place that can really play, and that will be here soon. I don't think I even answered the question. I was just trying to buy time because Aslan was away.
Thank you. Welcome to my world.
You did well.
So what do you think the score is going to be?
It's crazy that anybody would be, you can be disheartened. I mean, you can be disappointed in the way they look at Georgia Tech, but to make any sort of broad generalization or like this is the direction the program's going in because of, again, man, let him get one of these quarterbacks ready perhaps, and then we can maybe kind of see where they can head off to.
If Chuba just is as good as the Iowa State kid, if he's just as good as his brother, that will be such a step up in quarterback play around here. It'll be the best quarterback play Florida State has had in more than half a decade. And so that if they could just get quality quarterback play, not superstardom, just quality quarterback play, it will be such a step up that you're guaranteed to win at least a couple more games every year just because you have a competent quarterback. And it just hasn't been the case around here in a good long while. I would say DeAndre's redshirt freshman year was the last time a quarterback was decent.
That was good.
But he wasn't great. He wasn't special. I know in that Michigan game they won it, and he hit the pass to Nooney, but he was like 9 of 28 in that game. So he wasn't – do what?
That wasn't a good game. But
he was fine. He was a good player. Yeah, he was a good player, and he was not really a reason they lost any games. And when was the last time you could say even that? You don't even need a quarterback that's a winner that wins you games. You just can't have one that actively loses you games. And that's been happening for a long time around here. So if Chuba or Tate Rodemaker could just be that, I hate the term game manager, but just somebody that doesn't lose you games and makes the right reads and makes the right throws, then yeah, man, it's going to get better around here. But as it is, I just going back to the original question 17 minutes later, I don't understand how you can be mad at him for not bringing in a grad transfer when you don't know that he turned anyone down. It's just nobody. You can't make. I mean, I guess he could have threatened De'Aaron King's family and got him to Tallahassee that way. But other than that, I don't know what you do to make sure you get a grad transfer. And that's a good point. The last two that came here, yuck. No thanks.
He tried to bring the kid from Memphis with him, but he stuck around, so you can't fault the kid for staying around Memphis. So, Adam, hey man, we appreciate the call, we appreciate the support, and thanks for being a member at Warchant. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, no, go Noles, and like Corey says, we're allowed to play above our potential and win a game we're not supposed to. So let's do it.
Absolutely, man. Have a great one, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy.
Oh, let's do some quick hitters from our esteemed and valued subscribers over at warchant.com, your ultimate Seminole sports source.
What'd you get to eat?
Oh no, I got rice on the stovetop. Had to turn it down so it wouldn't burn. There's a little thing we do in the motherland to crisp the bottom of the rice. It makes this little crispy delight. Can't overcook it though; it'll burn it, and then it tastes terrible. That's what people want to know. Culinary delights with Aslan Hajavandi. Warpath Noel says, besides not playing James Blackman, what is the one thing you think is the most important thing for us to do to win this game? Turn Miami over like a madman, right?
Yeah, but that's like, that's hoping for turnovers. So how do you get those turnovers? The most important thing by far is to make him uncomfortable. De'Aaron King hasn't been uncomfortable since he's been in that uniform. You have to try to make him uncomfortable. That's the best chance you have. You're going to have some special teams plays, like I said. You got to hope that you get some lucky bounces on some fumbles or a tip pass or something. But more than anything, because they did not make Jeff Sims uncomfortable much at all, you have to try to somehow figure out a way to pressure him and make him uncomfortable.
Lee 80, I like the freshman linebackers, but why is DJ Lundy playing Will, weak side at 240-plus pounds, and Steven Dix is playing Mike, or middle linebacker, at 225? Swap them and start them. I don't know, if you would have posted that, I don't know, yesterday, I would have asked Adam Fuller. Maybe we'll ask him next time. It's a valid question. They also have Jaleel McRae playing Will, and he's like, I thought he was more of a middle.
They are. I mean, I know that size is important with those positions, but they are different positions, and a Mike can be built differently. Like some guys just have a nose for the football, even if they're a little undersized. And I certainly would never call Steven Dix undersized, especially to his face. But maybe he just it clicks with him. He fires quicker. They like him in the middle making plays, and he's big enough to beat some of those blocks. I don't know. Maybe DJ Lundy's always played outside, and Dix has always played middle. But we can ask that question.
ATX Noel rewatched the game against Tech, sincerely hoping we have a plan to get our other quarterbacks in the game. I can no longer watch Blackman, and I genuinely have zero interest in excuses. He's not a good quarterback. If we want to stop being the butt of jokes, maybe we stop literally putting in the same person at the most important position in all of team sports. It's almost unwatchable. That's a little bit harsh, but not a lot of fallacy in there. Running Noel, Deb says, hey, gentlemen, thank you for all you've done to get us through the summer of the pandemic with no sports and keep us laughing. Your show really is the best. Thank you. Drove over for the Tech game, had a great time except for the rain delays in the final score. I was hopeful down to the bitter end that we could pull off a 2-minute drill a la Jameis in Pasadena, which I was a little bit as well. It was not meant to be. My theme for this year is Rome was not built in a day, and as long as I can see improvement from week to week, I'll be okay. I'm not as impatient as I used to be. I wonder if Coach Norvell has any of the riverboat gambler in him. I remember when Coach Bowden did not have the horses, he'd draw up a punt rooski or something. For Miami this week, I'm taking Corey's approach. Let's just see what's what. I'd love to see all 4 quarterbacks get out there, but we should probably hold back Chuba, make sure he's totally healed. I broke my collarbone in Gainesville in 78. It was no picnic. But what happened to that guy, though? Love the show. Love you guys. 5-star review. Get you some Zaxby's.
I broke my collarbone in 82 in Norcross, Georgia. And no, it was not a picnic.
Yeah. Renegade 21.
And thank you very much for the comments. The compliments. That was very nice.
Telling Ira to step up his home decor game and get a man cave. Well, Ira does what he wants, and it's fine by me. But,
he's got the yarn. He's got to deal with the yarn. When you have a wife that crochets like Kim does, it's just yarn everywhere. There's no real place to go. He doesn't have a man cave. It's just a yarn cave, the whole house.
Hey, callers, thanks for hanging tight. We're going to get to you here in a second. Try to get your questions ready for a pretty quick, rapid delivery so we could rapidly reply and then get on to the next one. But before we get to there, Robert Amir Rashad, thanks, man. Appreciate it. Drop $7 in the tip jar. Why and how is his fan base sleeping on Tate Rodemaker? He's probably the best quarterback on the team. And he makes a prediction that we don't need to say out loud.
Well, it is funny that he's obviously an FSU fan. He's saying something positive about one of the players and then brings it all back to reality with that score prediction. Look, I think that's just part of fandom when one of the kids is a little higher rated coming out and has the highlight package that Chuba does with the running and the throwing. He probably excites you more. But yes, I don't think – of course they're sleeping on him. But that doesn't – people slept on Christian Ponder. Nobody thought that he was any good when he signed with Florida State, except Jimbo. When Jimbo got here, he's the one that identified that talent. So I think it's just because of what you hear about Chuba. But yes, man, you're a true freshman. It's the second game of the season. I don't think anybody should be dismissing Tate Rodemaker as somebody that could be a quarterback for this team's future. He might be the truth, but it's hard. Not many quarterbacks play their first games of their freshman years. It's just hard.
Why would he even put in the game? It was a one-possession game. I mean, if he's that great, if Jordan Travis is that great.
Man, come on. I think sometimes you got to make decisions as a coach. Like this kid, even though he's the son of a coach, that's a tough ask. It'd be easier to have him start the game than to come in the fourth quarter of a 13-13 game and say, go win it for us, kid. Because he might throw a pick six and the game's over. Now, you could also retort, it'd be quite correct. Well, the fourth-year starter got strip-sacked and fumbled, and that's how we lost the game anyway. So I get that. And then he had 2 chances to drive him down the field and couldn't do it. Sure. If they want to start Rodemaker this week, have at it. Go for it. I don't know that that's necessarily great for his development, but I'm with you. He might just be the best on the team. We know who on the roster right now is not a good college quarterback. It's been proven. So
the reason I haven't hyped Tate the way that I've hyped Chuba is just that I think Chuba was their first. I mean, Chuba I think was the guy.
Chuba was the guy, yeah, the guy they wanted.
And then you can say what happened whenever with Jeff Sims. They didn't want to just go with only one quarterback, and maybe Jeff Sims apparently didn't want to come in and be a second quarterback or have another quarterback in the class with him. And, Tate's a fine football player, I'm sure, but, I mean, his offer list wasn't that strong. So, I mean, that's kind of what I pieced together. His tape is all right. I mean, there's nothing bad about his tape.
He can sling it pretty good, man. You watch his arm in practice. You watch his arm on Saturdays before the games. He can sling it now. He's been blessed with a pretty nice arm, Tate Rodemaker.
All right. So, yeah, that's that.
Thank you, Robert, for the donation, by the way.
Maybe lights up the world, and we'll talk about him, and then we can make fun of me or whatever. Let's take this caller. They've been waiting around for 26 minutes. Amazing. Thanks for hanging tight. We do appreciate it. Welcome on into the show. It's Wake Up Warchant presented by Zaxby's. Who's this and where are you calling us from?
It's the one and only Huntsville, Joe from Huntsville, Rocket City. No.
All right.
Nice, buddy.
There we go. What's up, Joe? What's going on, man?
What's going on, y'all? Listen, I'm a little offended because y'all didn't mention my name last week. It's one of the pillars on y'all's show, but I'm gonna let it go.
That's me. I apologize for that. I think hopefully we were talking about our pillars being the people that donate, like Ray Pereira. We always got to mention that guy. That guy's doing it every week. But yeah, I apologize for that. I apologize for that omission.
No problem. Listen, I won't make it quick. Listen, I want to start off by saying appreciate y'all for taking my call. I have much faith in this coaching staff. I think that Norvell and the crew are going to get it rolling. They're going to get this thing. But I just don't have a good feeling about this game coming up this year. I just don't. I mean, it's like you said numerous of times, Corey, that this team does not beat teams that they, not only some teams that they're supposed to beat, they also don't pull upsets or whatnot. But I just wanted to say that I got faith in Norvell and the boys. But I think that what they ought to do is I would be peace if we got beat this weekend like 35-28, but you start the youth movement, and not necessarily Purdy, because he's still hurt. I'm not counting on seeing Purdy, but put Rodemaker in there. Put Jordan Track, whatever you're gonna do. I'm not. Rodemaker. The Rodemaker.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Instinct.
Okay. Yeah. But in other words, because that's I thought about what Georgia Tech. I was watching the Georgia Tech game, and what they said that Jeff Collins, what his mentality is they said, look, this year is this year has been this COVID and everything. And with everybody getting extra year of eligibility, we're just going to go ahead and throw Jeff Sims in there. That's how he got the start. We should have the same mentality. I think that we would have more peace if we go, dare I say it, if we were to go 0-10, but we were in every game, we barely lost 35-30 or whatever the score was. And he just started the freshman, the youth movement and threw everybody in there afresh. I think we would be more at peace than to sit up here losing a game. Yes, we did barely lose, and we held Georgia Tech to 16 points. But with a fourth-year quarterback, that's not supposed to be the case. We should have blew them out. But keep doing what y'all do. I love what y'all do. My score prediction, I hate to say it, the Cants 35, FSU 20, and I'm out.
Okay. I'll take. Hey, that sounds like an exciting game. Much better than 16-13. I'll take that.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
I do think that could go a long way in getting this fan base revved up for the rest of the season, is if you do show a propensity to just start playing the younger guys. And obviously that dead center of that is quarterback.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, where else? I mean, do we want to see like Kentron Poitier start over Tamori and Terry? I mean, do we want to see
no. But the freshman running backs, those linebackers, get them on the field more, get Griffiths on the field more.
We'll see about Josh Griffiths. That's interesting. Jan 7667, top wrinkle on DNO to pull this thing off this weekend. Slon, stop worrying about the hate. Okay, I guess asking what our top wrinkle would be to pull the upset off, to pull this off. What would wrinkle?
Okay. Well, number one, Jan, we really appreciate the donation. That's very, very nice. I would say my top wrinkle on O is, and I don't know how much of a wrinkle it really is these days. I didn't like that one. Don't do it in the middle of me talking. What's the matter with you? Would just be, different guys at quarterback, running threats at quarterback. Call it a wildcat, call it a wild J, wild trav, whatever you want to call it, that you need to have somebody back there that's a threat running the ball. That would be my at quarterback. That would be my threat. That would be my wrinkle on O. On D, I don't know, get pressure on the quarterback. That would be a new wrinkle that we haven't seen in a while.
Or do you just get really crazy and only like rush 3 and just constantly drop 8?
No, I hate that. If you give them 9 seconds, somebody's going to find a hole in your zone. It's inevitable. It happens in every level of football. Do not rush 3. Don't do it. Don't do it. Right. Unless you're getting a lot of push, unless you're somehow getting pressure with just 3, don't do it. Give them at least 4.
It's bizarre. I mean, they did limit Georgia Tech to only 16 points, but I don't have a lot of confidence in the offense, but I mean, the defense just to me was so disappointing. Like you could have given me like the box score, or just given me like a 30, like a 50-word blurb of the game, and I'm like, all right, I believe that the offense would do that, but like I would not believe the defense. I know again they only allowed 16 points, but the amount of first downs, no 3 and outs, second half not showing any kind of aggression and kill shot. I'm just worried about that. What a Kane fan was in here trolling earlier, but it was actually a good question. They said, like, what is more likely? Miami gets over 500 yards or Florida State scores over 30 points? Oh, that's actually not a bad question.
I would say Miami.
Yeah.
The 500 yards.
Miami,
yeah.
Over 500 yards. And that defense, I sat here and sang their graces for, 6 weeks about the best defensive line and, the defensive backfield, the amount of options you have back there.
Well, we always had the qualifier. Always, at least I did. I think we did on this show. I will pat ourselves on the back for this. It was always predicated on Kane-Do being different. Yeah. Like that was the one that was the piece. That was the missing piece that was going to make this defensive line elite. He did not play much in that game, and when he did, he didn't look all that different. So hopefully he's healthy on Saturday and looks like the Josh Kane-Do we heard about in the preseason.
The top wrinkle offense, running quarterbacks, shots downfield, man. I don't know, man. Trust it. He looks for it all the time, but he doesn't pull the trigger. Trust it, man. Let's go downfield at least like twice in a quarter or something. I hope that's not that big of a wrinkle, but that's what we're looking at. All right, we've hit about an hour, but we've had people on the line for a long time. Let's see if we can at least maybe get through these next 2 that have been hanging tight for over 10 minutes. So let's take this one here. Welcome on into Wake Up Warchant presented by Zaxby's and it's Travel Good. Who's this? Where are you calling us from?
Jeremy from South Florida, and man, is it hard to get on the show these days.
Man, we're the toughest ticket in town, Jeremy.
What's going on, Jeremy? How are you, man?
No, man, it was hard to get on last week, and Corey did not mention me as one of the pillars of the show, but that's okay.
Man, who did I mention?
You mentioned Jay and Gator Kirk.
Oh, man, I mentioned Jay. You definitely should have been ahead, and I love Jay. I'm a big fan of Jay, but yeah, Jeremy, you're ahead of Jay. That was another omission. You know what? I'm going to stop mentioning people other than Ray Pereira and our man James B., who hasn't been around tonight, but that's okay. Those are our guys. Oh, and Redbeard.
Yeah, Redbeard loves
it. But Jeremy, you're right up there too, buddy. You are a pillar.
Thank you, guys. I think what's getting lost in this is that you have nothing to lose paying Tate this week. There's no red shirt issue. Yeah. That used to be always an issue in the past with true freshmen.
No, I'm not opposed to it, man. Like I listen, man. I just gotta see something different. I mean, if I'm a fan, if I'm going to be watching this game as a fan from the comfort of my own home, I'll give
Mike Norvell.
I'll give one a drive. I'll give one a drive or 2. But if it looks bad, then roll the next guy out. I just cannot possibly see what could. I mean, unless they just throw pick sixes galore, it's hard to imagine it'd be any worse. Yeah, you're right, man. I really do think that they are going to roll out something different. I do think there's going to be multiple packages for quarterbacks. And I really am hoping it's Chubb. And I'm not saying like start the kid, but I think you could script out or give him at least 15 plays, some RPO stuff. And I know he's got a banged up shoulder, but hey, man, just get out of bounds. I know I'm not trying to oversimplify it, but there's ways to get these guys involved and you don't have to risk his health that much. I mean, there's going to be a semblance of risk, but it wouldn't be reckless to put him out there. So I do think they're going to show us a little bit of, at least the hope. At least they're going to throw different ideas out there. So I am encouraged to see that. So
and Jeremy, remember that James Blackman gets his junior year back again next year.
Right.
Sorry, my fault.
I thought about that the second they laid that new rule down. But I'm just going to end. You guys are great, of course. Support Zaxby's. subscribe to Warchant, and like on YouTube. Take care, guys.
Man. Jeremy, thanks, man. Long time.
Thank you, Jeremy. We appreciate it, buddy.
That's awesome, man. Let's take the next caller.
That was funny about Ray, by the way. Pillar envy. That message. That's good stuff, Ray.
Last caller of the night. We do appreciate you hanging tight. Thanks for calling on in to Wake Up Warchant presented by Zaxby's. Who's this? Where are you calling us from?
Hey guys, how y'all doing? This is Mike from Tallahassee. I'm actually down in St. Petersburg now, going to law school, but I grew up in Tallahassee, and I listen to y'all every day. So just wanted to call in, and so I got two things to say, and I'm with you, Aslan. You just talked about how disappointing defense was to you, and I'm with you because you go back down our defensive roster, and there's talent all over the board. So, it ultimately comes down to if they can play up to their potential Saturday, we'll be able to stay in the game, and then what you said about the D-line is absolutely correct. They say, we could be the best D-line in the country. Well, show me something. Let's go.
That's right. That's right, man.
Did you say your name was Mike or Max?
It's Mike, Corey. It's Mike.
Sorry.
Okay, all right. Sorry, Aslan. Sometimes I got to clean up for Aslan, who is great, by the way. He puts all this together, folks. I want you to know all the graphics you see, the scroll, the connection, the broadcast, taking the phone calls, that's all Aslan. But he had you as Max from Tallahassee. So I corrected that. Yeah, I agree with you, man. Defensive line, but I do agree with you. The defensive line, it's time to put up, man. Show up.
Yeah, I totally agree. And, hopefully we can get Hamza back. And, I hope that even if he is back, he's back to how he was before his knee injury. Correct. And then the second thing I was going to tell y'all is, Corey, you've mentioned it a couple times, but, I'm from Tallahassee and grew up around the high school football around the area. And, Travis Jay played at Madison County and won, I believe it was 2 state championships in high school. And, Madison County high school football is the real deal. So I just don't know, maybe they are working him a little bit at quarterback, but I don't see why we wouldn't,
I think he's a dynamic enough guy with the ball in his hands that you've got to figure out a way to put him somewhere on offense. Maybe at wide receiver, run him on some reverses, give him 5 different plays he can run on offense. Figure out a way to get that big athlete the ball in his hands in space. I agree with you. You can't let a talent like that. And he's not wasted away because he is a special teams guy and he didn't start at free safety. But you are safety. But you've got to figure out a way when you've got that kind of dynamic ability on both sides of the ball. It's 2020, man. Like, give him a shot on offense. I'm not saying he's going to drop back and throw the ball 30 times, but you can do some wild Jay and get him into a package where he makes some guys miss and bust a big play. What you really don't have anything to lose. I don't think anybody will blame Mike Norvell if for one series he goes, you know what, I'm going to put Travis Jay in at quarterback and we're going to run the Wildcat. And let's see what this looks like. Nobody's going to be like, what are you doing? You got James Blackman. Why would you take him out of the game? No. Everybody would be on board with that decision. Try something different. Come up with some packages that are unique and that work for the talent that you have. That's what good coaches do, and I think this guy's a good coach.
There we go. All right, Mike.
Yeah, I'm with you, Corey. I'm with you. Oh, yeah, I'll let y'all go. I'm with you. You watch him kick return, and, he has nowhere to go and sidesteps and gets 35 yards. So, let's get our playmakers the ball and, just wanted to get Aslan fired up. Let's shock the world, baby, Miami.
Let's go, Mikey. Let's go, man. Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate
That's a good way to end the show with a bang.
Appreciate you guys. Y'all are great. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, man. There was a comment here. I'm trying to pull it up. We got to go. It's over an hour. I'm tired.
Yeah, I got to bake cookies.
Really? That's fantastic. Oh, here it is. Lorenzo's been really hyping up Jordan Travis. I watched him throw in the spring game the other year. The kid can throw. Are you guys really FSU fans?
Okay. Why do you bring those? Why do you bring those to the show, Aslan?
Well, I mean, it's fair. My counter to that is that a guy who was paid $1 million to call plays last year pretty much went to battle with a left-handed guy that just couldn't throw the ball more than 10 yards downfield.
And we're not quite sure that Hornibrook is really left-handed.
It's up for debate. It is.
I think he might have been Princess Brideness the whole season.
Yeah. So touche. He did look good in the spring game, Jordan Travis. But again, at no point while that ship was sinking and people's jobs were on the line last year was Jordan Travis like, hey, let's roll him out. Scott Satterfield took over a 2-10 job, dumpster fire in Louisville. and you can't make kids stay. You can't force them to stay, but you can really put a pitch on them to help them stick around. And then he was gone. So,
well, and they didn't let Travis throw it all in the game on against Georgia Tech. But again, that doesn't mean he can't throw the ball from A to B. Like if you can run some simple stuff where it's a run pass option, if the dude's open, a guy with an arm that works, that can move forward, can make some of those throws. So it's a possibility, man, that he can be the guy. I mean, our James Blackman's going to come out Saturday night on fire, play possessed, go 24 of 28 for 333, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and we're all singing his praises about the great turnaround he had after one bad game.
Yeah. All right. RIP to Sam. Just posted something I didn't like. You've been blocked. So that's cool, man. Enjoy life. Shout out to everybody who donated and was part of the show today calling. We do appreciate the call-ins. Thanks to William Hall. Thanks to Ray Pereira, Redbeard. Thanks to Matt AMCZ. Thanks to Lee Wills, D. Chai, Michael Jennings, Jan7667, and Robert Amir Rashad. We do appreciate the tips. Gets us a little extra motivated to come out here and turn up the juice. You folks shared some confidence, some optimism. We'll try to keep it on into tomorrow and Friday's show as well. We'll do Renegade Express tomorrow. We'll do over-unders, give away some free Zaxby to our top winners. So with that said, check out warchant.com. Wednesday morning, we'll speak to John Papuchis and I'm guessing defensive players. So we'll have the live play-by-play of that. And again, we'll have a podcast. Warchant Report will be dropping. Corey was on it this week. Gene Williams is sitting down with Gary Furman from Kane Sport. They're going to do a preview on the game, both sides. So we got a whole bunch going on. It's rivalry week. It's Miami week. We're getting there. We're getting excited. Corey, great job as always, man. You're beautiful.
No doubt.
Never change.